Hello, I'm Jake Trumper, and welcome to me teaching you history. I could be lying to you, but I'm not. Because I would never lie to you about history, okay? You can trust me. I got you. What a weird way to start. We're going to be talking about the first 100 days of the presidency. Nowadays, that's the big thing everyone talks about. What's a president going to do in the first 100 days? Like Joe Biden, you promised me $2,000, man. Where's my stimmy, Joe? I'm still waiting for it. Give me my money. It's my money. I need it now.
It's your money. Use it when you need it.
Call J.G. Wentworth, 877 cash now.
But besides that, we always like to look at the presidents and see what they did for the first 100 days. Granted, the whole ideology of first 100 days wasn't really started until FDR. So any president before him, it's a little unfair to be like, well, how much did they do in the first 100 days? Because they weren't really shooting for the first 100 days, and debatably, some presidents probably did more than other presidents after FDR in the first 100 days. But for argument's sake, I'm going to be doing the first 100 days for presidents after FDR. When you look at like presidents who are the most beloved after the first 100 days, the highest approval ratings going to JFK, which is kind of interesting because one of the largest military mistakes to happen around that time was Bay of Pigs, which was started because of JFK on day 87. But that didn't really bleed into his approval rating. He had the highest approval rating. But when it comes to what presidents did in the first 100 days, usually FDR and Truman are seen as the two presidents to do the most. Granted, FDR had the Great Depression and the start of World War II. Well, that was in the first 100 days. I digress. He had a lot going on in his plate, and then Truman had World War II on his plate. So both presidents had a lot going on to do in the first 100 days. So it makes sense why FDR kind of started that trend. When it comes to presidents who did the least, I guess you could say Bush did the least. A lot of historians are like, well, he signed the least law, so Bush did the least in the first 100 days. That one's obviously up for more debate, but usually if someone's going to ask you which president did the most, FDR or Truman is usually a pretty safe bet. Thank you so much for listening to what presidents did in the first 100 days. If you've got a president, you're like, yo, they did the most. Have you seen Lincoln? Maybe William Henry Harrison. That's a joke, because he died in the first 30 days. Unless you think dying's a pretty big thing, then he wins. It's up to you to decide. Personally, I think FDR did the most. Obviously, that's an endorsement of FDR. It's just me saying. Homeboy did a lot in the first 100 days, for better or for worse. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.